Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews. Have you ever wondered what games you should sell or you should use? Find out here at Purge Reviews. Find out on our top 10 list what games you cannot miss. Don't forget to subscribe to Purge Reviews.
So Unfair. Unfair is a theme park game that came out that tries to satisfy that itch that we have to own our own theme park. I mean, the only real guy that's super famous that did this was Walt Disney. Don't we all want to be like Walt Disney? No commentary needed. Theme parks is one of those themes that I think that we're starving for. We love city building and theme park building games. And we have some good ones, right? Steam Park is really good. Steam Park is really good. And then you have Steam Park. Okay, all kidding aside. You got Arcadia, which is a pretty good card game. And you have Roller Coaster Tycoon, which is a mainstream game. If there's other ones, I'm sorry I forgot. But I do know those. Steam Park is a really good game. It's really fun. But it's not going to appeal to everybody because you have that timed dice thing. And I don't think everybody likes timed games. Arcadia is a really good little card game. But it feels more like I'm building like a fair as opposed to a theme park. So how does Unfair do? Unfair jumps into the genre and lets us build a theme park. And you really do feel like at times you're building Universal Studios or Magic Kingdom. It's really neat how the box comes with 5 different themed areas, each one playing a little bit differently, theoretically. And you can pick, one of those per player, and you shuffle them all together, and you have new options for yourself. So there's a lot of different combinations in the box depending on the number of players. And I'm fairly certain there's going to be expansions for this and more going to be coming out because the box is way too big and it just feels that way. So how does the game work and does it fit the theme park niche? A little bit. I mean, it's a card game, so it's going to be a little bit more abstract than like Steam Park where you actually have 3D models of this, right? I do feel like it's a stronger game than Arcadia. Now, in this one, there are some like weird rule limitations, right? So you can only build 5 attractions, and 15 gas is the most you can score for in a round. That's obviously that's meant to keep everybody within the same point range, right? The game, I do want to point out that it's a card game, so you're just kind of laying cards down and buying those. The components are brilliant. I love the little roller coaster thing that does the rounds. The round is listed on the board, and you just kind of move the round marker through it, which is brilliant. The cards you need are all on the board. It doesn't overwhelm you with how they are because you kind of start after you know how to play. I need an attraction or I need an upgrade, and the little blueprint cards work like tickets and Ticket to Ride, where they have things you need to fulfill in order to get the victory points. But if you don't complete it by the end of the game, you get negative victory points, and that's really cool because that can give you some direction. I think the foregoing strategies, if you're going to get a blueprint, try to get those early so you can start working through those. And even halfway through the game, they're going to cut you off from getting those except for card play. So really on the first 4 rounds you can get them, which is really nice. And that prevents you from like drawing one and saying, oh, I've already accomplished that here. It limits that a little bit. So that's a nice little design tweak. Otherwise, I think I need to talk about the 100-pound gorilla or 400-pound gorilla in the room, which is this game includes screwage. People are going to be able to play event cards that will tear down your park, okay, and tear down rides. Sometimes that will work to your advantage because you wanted to get rid of something, but usually not. Now, there's a variant to play it without the screwage. I don't recommend it. I really don't. I feel like that's the balancing in the game. If somebody builds something up too much, they're going to either run away with the game or you're going to screw them over and destroy it. But this leads to an interesting decision. Instead of just drawing a card and, I'm going to screw you over, every event card comes with a bonus on top that will help you and a screw you card to hurt somebody else, and you choose. So you always have that balance of, do I help everybody, including myself, by screwing you over, or do I take the benefit for just myself and get the goodie? And sometimes it'll be obvious, this card does not help me at all on the goodie, or it's not playing to my strategy, so I'm going to screw you, which will help me and the other players, especially if you're really far ahead. So when you're building your attractions, usually if you have one mega attraction, that's good because you're collecting icons on that mega attraction, right? So it's if I have 5, let's say 6 icons, that's worth more points than 3 attractions with 2, even though it's the same amount of icons. It's better to have them on one ride, okay? That's how you're going to score the most points. But by doing so, you're making yourself a target. So do you spread it out, decreasing your points but making yourself less of a target? Maybe. But you're going to score less points. So then you're going to build a mega attraction because it's going to give you more points. But now you're a target. Was that the smart move? I don't know. It just depends. Maybe you want to have 2 mega attractions. Good luck. But maybe that's what you want to do, is try to build 2 big ones. Of course you do. But can you? Can you accomplish that? Or is it better to get a blueprint card and try to score points off that? Options. Decisions. That's what we want in games, right? And they're good in this one. So the screwage isn't just, I drew a random card and now I'm going to screw you because it's the only thing I can do with that card. They have a decision to make with that card. They can help themselves. Can that card help them more than screwing you, which helps them, but helps the other players? And that's the rub. And I like that. I'm okay with that. And I tell people when you play this, it's going to have some screwage in it. Even the city cards that come out, the first 4 are normally good for everybody, and then the last 4 are screw everybody. And it can be uneven sometimes, I'm making it up. But let's say it said, you have to pay the bank $8. Well, I'm the only one with $8. Everybody else lost $3 or $2. Well, so be it. The game is called unfair. And you have to be okay with that. I wouldn't say there's a tremendous amount of screwage. The further ahead you get, the more people are going to screw you. Okay? If everything is relatively even, I feel like people are going to play those cards to help themselves rather than hurt you, because the benefit isn't going to be there. If you're playing with noobs or people who just like to screw each other because it's funny and not trying to win, that's your group. But I feel like that there is a decision to make on each card, and sometimes those cards can be really, really good. The Media Blitz card is a little tough because the Media Blitz card is like, you play it, get 8 extra guests. But if somebody else has a Media Blitz and they play it, it cancels yours. That's probably the one like benefit card that, I'm going to put that aside. It has screwage in the game. I feel like there's decisions in that screwage. It's not just ultimate screwage. And you can play without it, even though I don't recommend it. But you definitely can, because we're not a screwage type people. We don't like games where you build something up and somebody else tears it down. But with this game, we all agreed the game needed it. What else do I like about the game? I love the artwork. The artwork is really fun. Like there's the Cinderella's Castle. I live in Orlando, so I'm very familiar with the theme parks, with SeaWorld, Legoland. We got Busch Gardens around here, Universal, Islands of Adventure, all the Disney parks. So theme parks is a big part of our life. We hold passes at all these places every year, and we're going all the time. Although after you live here for so many years, you don't go as much as you used to. But we're very familiar with these things, so it's very fun. It comes alive. I like some of the stuff. You can also hire staff members in this, which is really funny. They give you bonuses and victory points. Guys, this is a really, really fun game. It's probably not going to be the definitive theme park game. The reason why is because of the screwage. That's going to limit its appeal somewhat. And the game being called unfair, it's more of a card play game where you're building up a tableau versus a theme park. Although I feel like it comes through. I like counting up the icons. I like all that. But at some point, it's more like, I made this funny gangster ninja pirate roller coaster with inverted loops and stuff, and with a splashdown. So they can become a little bit silly sometimes. But that's the appeal of the game, right? What do I gauge this in the line of theme park games? I put it right up there with Steam Park. This is one of the better ones. The screwage might bring it down just a tad, but Steam Park has that timed aspect that people are going to like. I don't feel like we had the definitive game yet. I put this above Arcadia. I put this above Roller Coaster Tycoon. If there's one I'm missing, I'm sorry. I just don't remember or have knowledge of it. I'd probably put this up there with Steam Park. It's one of the 2 games with Steam Park, where Steam Park's going to be more dice rolling and allocating. This is going to be more of a card play and screwage type game. I'm going to be keeping this one. I'm probably going to be playing it a lot. I'm looking forward to the expansions that are going to be coming out. I like this game, and I recommend it to you. Here's the box for Unfair. You can see a very, very beautiful roller coaster here with the excitement, but you have the impending doom of the storm and lightning that's coming. Living in Orlando, I know that roller coasters and lightning do not mix and can create a very unfair day. So let's take a look inside. This is from Cool Mini or Not, who I don't think of as board games. I think of them as like a miniatures game company. We get a couple of player aids. There's only 2, even though the game plays up to 4. They're okay. They're not cardboard. They're flimsy, but they get the job done. But you'll have to share with the other players or make your own. There was an error when they printed it. Really, it's just about the organization of the cards. Not a huge deal. A little bit of work to organize the cards when you first get it. Think of Legendary if you did that. Here's the rule book. The rule book's okay. It kind of explains what all the cards do. I think that's probably necessary. But I would probably jump in how to play and then go backwards and read what the cards do. Here's a picture of how to build it because it's a little confusing at first. That's really helpful. You have your scoring and a glossary. Okay, this is a card game, so you may never feel like you're actually building, but theme park. But it is neat. So you have some organizers in here. Let me just kind of show you what comes in here. Here's the turn marker. You know, this is the kind of thing that's only made on Kickstarter, right? So elaborate. We'll look at those in a second. You're going to get a scoring pad and a pencil. Here's some of our scores. So you're going to get plenty of these, and you can always just make copies on paper. But it's nice that it's included. I really do like these die. You get 2 of them, big, chunky, red, my favorite color, so that works out pretty darn well. And what you're going to get here is you're going to get a series of cards. You're going to get Ninja. This is Gangster. This is Robot, Vampire, and Jungle. And each of these are going to play a little bit different. I'll just show you 2 of them here. This one, the attraction size, how many blueprints, coins, unfairness, and strategies of playing them and how they work. But for the most part, you're going to get a set of cards in these, and I'll just show you one set because they're all different. So here are the pirate ones. You can see a little bit of thematic of how they work, the upkeep of it. And each card is going to have a round summary in it for the players and a scoring summary. Because you're always going to use 1 archetype per player. These are going to be the event cards. So they have a little bit different backs. They're different colors and say event on them. And there's always like a good for you and a screw everybody else at the bottom. So here's what some of the ride cards are going to look like. Here's a floorless roller coaster. Here is an attraction for a food outlet. You're going to have how much it costs, how many guests, and then some types of power. These will be upgrades you'll use to see this one can only work on thrill rides. There's a flagpole. Look, it's a pirate. Then you're going to have these blueprints. These are like the tickets and Ticket to Ride. These are going to be how you score points at the end of the game. If you don't complete them, they're worth negative points. They're going to have a whole bunch of cards you'll use in the main majority of the game. Each one will come with a main gate. So 1 player will get this. It doesn't matter. They're all exactly the same. Sometimes you even get staff members. This one sells some snacks. And then you're going to get these cards, which are only a portion of these will you use in any game. These will be city cards. The red ones are used for the last half of the game, and the blue ones are for the first half of the game. And these are easier. The blue ones are easier. The red ones are usually pretty negative. Each deck will come with a loan, so everybody will have one of these. They work exactly the same. And then you'll have these showcase cards. The cards are all pretty good. The quality is really good. You'll be using these a lot, shuffling them up a lot. Very nice, no complaints. And there's 1 for each set. So you're going to get a whole bunch of cards in this. Mine came with some Kickstarter cards. It says here that these are for some upcoming expansion, some promo cards. So there's an Alien Ambassador, a City Crop, there's a Triceratops. So kind of tells you maybe what might be coming down the pike. That's not Disney World, is it? There's a Gunslinger from Westworld, I suppose, a vacant lot, a red one, a Zombie Horde staff member. He's worth negative 3 points, and Gen Con will be there. So here's some promos I got in the Kickstarter. They are what they are. But that's the components. I think that the insert works really, really well. So let's take a look at some of these doodads that you see here. Now the money's interesting because they come in all shapes and sizes. So If you're colorblind, you can also look at the shape of them if you wanted to, or just the number on them. But that's kind of interesting. That each one's going to be just going to be the starting player for the tickets. That's pretty neat. And then some of the plays staff cards are mesmerizing, and you'll use these little tokens. Everything is super thick and very, very nice. Let's set that aside for now. Take a look at the board. The board is interesting because it is double-sided. The only difference is that the market cards go upside down here. So this board is actually upside down, but these market cards can be seen by you. Just makes it a little bit more friendlier. I don't know that's necessary because you could just play on this side and turn the cards upside down, but I guess they're on different sides of the board. Just a matter if you like that or not. So the board is very easy to use. It's small now. It is small, but it is thematic. The event cards, the city cards, some of the market cards, and it has a place for everything. And then you'll be doing the turn order as the turn goes through here. And this little guy will go through. So those components are actually very, very good. The components, cool mini or not, you're not going to have any complaints about this. Everything is thick, up to use. It will go over many, many uses very well. The rules for Unfair are pretty good. At the beginning, you're going to have an explanation of all the cards, then you're going to have the rules, and then some variants and information at the end. I would probably recommend reading the rules about how to play, go back and read what the cards do, and then read the rules again. That organization worked better for me. When you're playing, there are going to be a few rules you're going to want to look up in some wonky situations. Your gate card of your main gate, which is a card, has some of the good remembering rules, like 5 attractions max, 15 guests, those kind of things. It's right there on your main gate, so hopefully you remember that. I like the setup of the game. There's a picture of how the game plays out with your main gate and the rides to your right, and to your left would be your staff cards and resource cards and stuff like that. That works really well. The rules flow work very good. There's a tracker on the middle of the board that will take you through each step, so you don't have to refer to the rule book. That's very nice. It's a very good rule book. I would say good job, because with cards, things can get a little bit screwy sometimes. Like, what about this card and that card? I think the rule book does a fairly good job at that. So here's kind of how the game will be, and you'll put the market cards out, so those will be available. And you'll start the game out with 5. Now, you're going to play with a deck of cards or a theme for every player in the game. So there's 3 players, you will use 3 different themes. I'm just showing you one right now, which is the gangster theme, and not a recommended one that you start the game out with. So the first thing you'll do when you're playing the game is you'll go to each of these spaces, and this one says draw an event card. So everybody will get 1 free event card. And then you will flip over a city card. And now there's 2 types of city cards. Early game city, which is the blue, and late game city, which is the red. And in the setup, it'll tell you to put 4 of these and 4 of these, and these 4 will come up, and then after that, these 4 will come up. So I'll just show you kind of one of each. This one says, roll 2 dice and gain coins equal to the result. Repeat each time you roll a double. So everybody would do that. It's a lucky streak, so you're getting money. The bad one, return all staff members in your park to your hand. So they intimidated you to do so. So you will pull out one of those cards, and it will affect everybody. Then you will go around, and everybody can play one of their event cards and turn order. The top is normally or always something good, and the bottom is something bad. So in this case, if I wanted to play it for the top, anybody else in a media blitz would immediately have to discard it, and my park scores 8 extra guests this turn. Or if I wanted to screw somebody over, choose a feature upgrade to any park and demolish it. So these can be good or bad. And you'll keep going around. You can play as many of these as you want and or that you have, but when everybody passes in a row, that would stop. And then you're going to play 3 rounds of the game. There is a way through card play for people to get 4 actions, but for the most part, people are going to have 3 actions. And in turn order, you're going to play these park cards. So here's a few things you can do. So when you start out, you're going to have 1 main gate. This signifies that you have 1 guest. You have a capacity of 15 people. If you get over 15, that's fine. You're only going to score 15 unless you have an upgrade. You can have a total amount of attractions of 5. In your deck, when you start the game, you're going to get 2 random showcase cards. Well, these are like the super duper rides that have really good powers on them, and you can build them, but they're all going to cost 20 coins. So at the beginning of the game, you won't be able to build those. You can also take a loan out at any time you want. It gives you 5 coins, and at the end of the game, you will lose a number of victory points, 10 for each loan that you get, and you would just turn this card. You can never pay a loan off, and it's just worth negative points at the end of the game. Hopefully, the theory is you can turn those 5 coins into more than 10 points. Otherwise, it wouldn't be worth doing. So the first thing you can do is you're going to be, your gate will be here. I'm going to put it here just to be in frame. Let's say earlier in the game, I had already built an attraction. So my attractions will go to the right. If I had a staff member, staff members always go to the left. So let's say we played around and this is where we sit. I have a hotel here and I have a staff member there. So on my turn, the first thing I can do is loose change. For every open attraction I only have 1 open attraction, I can get a coin. So there's 1 coin. If I had 2 attractions open, let's say I also had this theater and I got loose change, then I would get 2. 1 for each one. It's pretty easy. Second thing I can do is I can demolish something. If I don't want this here for whatever reason, I just don't want it anymore, I can demolish it and discard it and get it out of my park. Keep in mind you can only have 5. So sometimes you'll build things that are small, and later on in the game you want to build something bigger, and the only way you can do it is make space is get rid of something. The third thing you can do is you can draw cards. So let me go over this. I can draw either 2 event cards, 2 blueprint cards. Remember, those are end of game scoring. But if you don't fulfill them, they're worth negative points. Or 2 park cards and keep 1. Either 2 event, 2 blueprint, or 2 park. Draw 2, keep 1. I can also discard a card from my hand. I am never going to want to build this because it's too expensive. I can draw 5 park cards and keep 1. So it gives me a little bit of better if you're trying to look for something. Because sometimes these blueprint cards, let me show you a couple of them, may require something, any food outlet. Well, if I don't have any food outlets getting later in the game, maybe I want to draw a lot of cards to get those food outlet. Here, any hotel. Well, great, I have a hotel with at least 5 stars from any upgrades. Oh, darn, I need hotel upgrades. And I get a bonus if it has concierge. So maybe I'm looking for that concierge to get the extra 7 points. And I need to draw a lot of park cards to hopefully get that. Okay, so that's the third thing you do. The fourth thing you do is start building things. So anytime a card is taken, it's immediately replaced. So I can build cards from my hand. So this one is 7 coins. And I could put comfortable seating. As long as it doesn't already have comfortable seating, I can place that there. I pay my 7 coins, and now this is upgraded. Okay? Or if I had something in the market, I could take it and put it in my hand. Like say, I really wanted this gangster theme, but I don't have the 12 coins to pay for right now. I can go and pick it up in my hand, and then I would have it. Now, if I didn't want to, if I did have the 12 coins and I didn't want to put it in my hand, I could just immediately build it straight from the market, and it would cost me 12 coins to do so. Okay, so that's kind of what you're doing. You're building this park up. Now, how does the game score? Well, the game is going to score based on this method. So I'll start here. Any loans will deduct points. Your staff members will give you points. 2 coins is 1 point. Your blueprint cards, how I've already described, but mainly you're going to be looking at how many icons your ride has. So this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 icons. If it was the end of the game, I would then score 20 points for that. If you look, they exponentially get higher based on how many icons. So having 1 attraction that's worth, 25 icons is going to be worth 310 points, which is much better than 5 rides with 5 icons, which is only 100 points. So you kind of want to build up that 1 super ride is what the game is going for. That's kind of how it goes. When you get down here, you will count up all the stars that are on. So 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 stars, so I would get 6 coins. Then you would go to clean up. You would discard cards in your hand down to 5. Take everything off the market, put new cards out, and kind of repeat, rinse and repeat. That's how you play. I do want to signify and point out that there is a lot of screw you in this game. There is a lot of hurting those people around you, and that's kind of the balancing act in the game. Who should buy this game? Fans of theme parks. If you always wanted a game that you build your own theme park, this is going to be one of the best ones. You're going to have to be okay with screwage. That's going to have to be All right, but let me tell you this. It works in this game. It just does. I'm a guy, I do a lot of reviews, and people ask me sometimes, why are you reviewing abstract? You don't like abstracts. Because when I do, it means something. If you're like me and abstracts aren't your favorite, when I say, hey, this abstract's pretty good, check it out, that should mean something. I don't like Screwage games. And when I recommend a Screwage game, if you don't like Screwage games, maybe check this one out. And if you do like Screwage games, well, heck, this must be the cream of the crop because somebody who doesn't enjoy it likes this one. And that can be important to you. If you like Screwage games, and maybe you have that buddy or two who doesn't, well, this is a game you get what you like, and they might actually like it too. And I think that's important. So the fact that I don't like Screwage games, and I like this game, and I'm recommending it to you, should mean something. Let me point out right now that I bought this game. I kickstarted this game. I paid my own money for this game. If that holds any weight with you, I'm not just saying that because I got a free copy. I actually like this game. And I think, as someone who doesn't like Screwage, that can mean something to you. If you like card play, if you like games where you're building a tableau, if you like a game where you're set collecting icons, if you're liking a game where you have kind of rule-breaking cards that are fun to play, this could be it. I think the theme's going to be easy to play with people who building a theme park, you're instantly going to know what they're talking about. Building your favorite rides, making those crazy rides is fun. I think this will pull people into this type of game. I'm going to highly recommend this one. I think you should check it out and maybe even buy it. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. If you like this video, please give it a like up. If you like to see other videos we have, subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. And if you have any comments, if you played Unfair, if you like it, if you don't like it, let us know what you think or any worries you have, and I'll try to answer those questions too. Lastly, I just want to say thank you for watching this video. It really makes my heart swell when people like the videos and people watch them. That's why I spend my time doing it. So you guys go out and have a great weekend and a great week.